All employees of PSC should attend a monthly stewardship meeting. The supervisor should have a meeting with all the field employees. These meetings should last approximately 1 hour. The key to success for this meeting is for the supervisors to direct or guide the discussion, following the 4 main agenda items, and to actively involve the field employees in discussion of the various topics. The more that employees talk and the more that the supervisor listens and guides the discussion, the more effective this monthly meeting will be. The 4-point agenda for the supervisor meeting is: discuss the LPS activity plan from last month, plan LPS activities for next month, review standard LPS database reports, communications, alerts, and bulletins. The following is an example of a supervisor-led all-hands monthly stewardship meeting. If there is more than one supervisor, they can each run a section of the meeting or take turns running the meeting each month. The supervisor should check LPSA stewardship by asking, did everyone have a weekly LPSA conversation with a supervisor?
Okay, folks, did everyone in the room have at least one LPSA conversation with a supervisor every week during the last month?
At this point, the supervisor should ask 1 or 2 employees to share a recent LPSA conversation they had with a supervisor. The supervisor should then follow up on the progress made on any JLAs decided upon from last month's meeting. The JLA development team should come prepared to share the JLA that was developed, revised, or field tested. Where are they in the JLA development process?
Danny, last month we talked about a need to have a JLA for working inside of substations. Where do you and the JLA team stand on that one?
We completed our part of it last week and sent it to the core team. They said they would be sending it to the other locations so they can add anything they think is important.
Okay, let's stay on top of that. Make sure you call the core team and follow up with them next week.
The group should go over a few of the most informative observations from last month and discuss any key questionable items, positive comments, root causes, and solutions. Was solution implemented? Was it V&V'd? What were the results? You should also discuss whether all LPOs were completed, and if not, discuss how best to get them all complete going forward.
Okay, now let's talk about some of our LPOs we completed last month. Arnold, why don't you tell us about one of your observations?
Well, on the 15th last month, I did an observation on an employee offloading the hydro excavator into a liquid vac before going on the job. Some of the positive items were that the employee checked the gaskets and the hoses to prevent a spill. He had a bucket to make sure he didn't spill anything when disconnecting the hoses. He also asked for help when connecting the hoses to prevent injury from heavy lifting. The one thing I did notice was that he did not wear a face shield when he was transferring the material. He was in a hurry to get to the job and didn't take the time to put on his face shield. The employee committed to always wear his face shield going forward when transferring material.
So guys, let's remember that anytime we transfer material with a vacuum truck, we have to wear a face shield to protect our face and our eyes in case of leak or hose rupture. So did the supervisor V&V the solution?
Yes, the supervisor checked on the employee the next time he was offloaded, and he was wearing all of his PPE, including his face shield.
That's great. Thanks for sharing your observation. One other thing as far as the LPO is concerned, our monthly number of LPOs should be 12, and we did only 10 last month. Let's keep our eye on our LPO schedule and make sure that we do our 12 next month.
The group should discuss any near losses or losses the location had in the past month and verify solutions are being implemented. Talk about the descriptions, root causes, solutions, and so on. Was solution implemented? Was it V&V'd? What were the results? Discuss plans to finish any open, near loss, or loss investigations.
Okay, let's talk about some of our losses and near losses from last month. Brian, you were on one of the investigation teams. Tell us about the incident you were involved in.
Well, an employee showed up on a vault job without one of the new harnesses that had no exposed metal. When questioned, he stated there was not one in the truck. Originally, it was determined to buy only a few of this type of harnesses to share between everyone. Someone had taken one out of his truck. It was determined that there weren't enough harnesses to cover everyone. The solution was to buy the type of harnesses for everyone working at the location.
Okay, Did someone V&V that solution?
Yeah, the supervisor checked 3 days later, and the new harnesses had arrived and were given out.
Decide if any new JLAs are needed, or in most cases, JLAs that need to be revised. Pick a team to develop them. Contact a core team member to verify development. Discuss any changes that came out to JLAs that pertain to your location. The next task is to pick your LPO target areas and schedule your LPOs for the coming month. Supervisors will have to do some preparation by reviewing near loss and loss history, high-risk tasks that are scheduled for next month, and considering tasks that were alerts and bulletins discussed during the month. Upper management may have suggested a few target areas based on trends in the company, but most of these LPO targets should be chosen by the field employees. Also, don't forget to change your observers every 3 months.
So guys, now we need to pick our LPO targets. Remember, we need to do 12 LPOs per month. On my last monthly call with the boss, he said we were having a lot of problems backing into things. He would like us to do 3 of our LPOs on driving and concentrate on backing up. I also know we have a lot of jobs coming up in substations, so we should do 2 or 3 LPOs on those jobs. What other LPO targets do you guys think we should pick?
I know we have some jobs coming up dealing with PCBs, and that can cause us a lot of problems if we don't handle them correctly. So I think we should do a few LPOs on those jobs.
That's a great idea. I'll add it to the list of targets. Once you guys give me the list of the rest of the targets, I'll get them entered on the LPO schedule board.
The supervisor should go over 1 or 2 of the stewardship reports from the database for the location and discuss how to improve the use of the LPS tools. These reports may be suggested by the location manager or chosen directly by the supervisors.
JP suggested in his monthly meeting that we show you reports number 3 and number 8. If you look at report number 3, we have a very low percentage of LPOs with questionable items. I would like to discuss that with you. Guys, why do you think our observers find such a low percentage of questionable items? I would also like to look at report number 8, which shows what our observers have been finding as questionable items. We need to discuss why we keep finding a lot of PPE issues on the LPOs.
The supervisor should review alerts and bulletins from last month from other locations that would help employees in your location. The purpose of this topic is to keep the alerts and bulletins alive and well that were discussed throughout the course of the month. The supervisor should have shared the alerts as they came out throughout the month. The supervisor should remind the group of a few of the most significant alerts or bulletins. Have the group discuss how they apply to them and what they've done to address these at their location. The supervisor should share the results of their V&V of the alerts or bulletins when they were out in the field.
Hey guys, I know we talked about this bulletin earlier in the month, but I just wanted to remind you about the guy at our other location who had the boom hose on an air mover swing over and hit him in the face. The solution that the location came up with was to create a tie-down to keep the hose tight against the truck. I V&V'd that you guys did the tie-downs on all of our trucks, so I thank you for that.
In summary, every PSC employee should attend at least one LPS monthly stewardship meeting. Meetings should be held at all levels of the company. Each meeting should last about an hour and take less than 1 hour to prepare for them. Each meeting should follow a specific 4-point agenda. These meetings are one of the most important parts of stewarding the LPS system. This is a chance for the entire company to talk about what we accomplished the month before and what we need to work on to improve the quality in which we use the LPS system at PSC.